So welcome back here, the afternoon brackets. We're second day of the prelims here at the 2019 NXL World Cup are about to go down. We got the Planet Eclipse pre-show for the afternoon coming up here, but I got something special for you guys. I got John Amadea here, been around paintball forever, been working with Paintball Media. Right now, current project going on is a paintball history. It's amazing, and so I wanted to touch base with John since we have him here. Everyone's here at World Cup. It's so awesome, and you know, we still got some time to flesh things out a little bit. So since we got you
Good to be here.
Yeah, man, good to see you.
Thank you.
So
too.
yeah, I love the project, man. I think
Thanks.
it's an amazing thing, and what you've been doing with Paintball Media. You know, I just love the fact you're trying to keep print alive, doing all this stuff online, telling paintball stories. I'm obviously a sucker for a good paintball
Yes,
story. I love telling paintball stories. So you're working on a paintball history project. Where did this come from? How did it start? Let's just start there.
Good question. So in 2004, I did a year's worth of research to do a paintball history magazine. So we did a 180-page paintball history magazine. And I literally fell in love with the history of the game at that point. And I knew that something bigger was coming. Didn't know what it was until about 3 years ago. And about 3 years ago, I really started to kind of piece together a timeline. And that's what's brought us to today. And right now, we've just been traveling the world really for 10 months doing interviews with all the key people in the game's history.
That is awesome. So before we kind of dive a little bit into that, and then you guys made this awesome trailer. I know we only got a couple minutes with you, but that being said, before we jump into talking a little bit more about it and then watching that trailer, tell me your history real quick.
Sure.
Because you've been around forever.
Yeah, I played my first game in 1985. Fell in love with the game. And that day I told my friend, some way, somehow, I'm going to make a living playing paintball. It took about 4 years, but I opened a paintball field. And in 1992 started my first magazine, and I've published magazines every month for 27 years. That's kind of my history. Played a little bit, played on the
PCRI?
Yep, PCRI was my first magazine.
I was a huge fan. I was 16 years old, working at the paintball shop, also figuring
Nice.
like, man, this is such a fascinating, because when I was 16, I got a job at this paintball store, and at that store we had at the time every single paintball magazine that had been made
Nice.
up to that date. So store was a little slow sometimes, and I would just sit there and read about the history of paintball, and it really is a captivating and fascinating history. Again, we're going to get a look at the trailer here in just a bit. So then, yeah, but PCRI was one of my favorite things because you guys, you know, Pev was involved in that,
Yes.
and you guys had the on the edge section, so we'd always give you those pro rumors
Yes, we did.
who could potentially go to what team and all that sort of stuff that was happening. Yeah.
And we were playing also on the circuit at the time, so it was just a lot of fun, and it kind of went hand in hand with what we really wanted to do media-wise.
Cool, cool. So just before we see this trailer, what are people about to watch?
So you're going to watch just some snippets of some of the video stuff we've been doing, a little bit of the resources we have to produce this film. There's a lot of 80s footage and 90s footage. We literally have 800 hours of 1980s paintball footage.
Wow.
Largest collection in the world.
That's epic.
So you'll see a little bit of that, and it's really just a teaser for what's to come. It's been an amazing project. The interviews have been so much fun to do.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to my interview one of these days.
Yes, it's
Hook
coming.
me up. Yeah, I love paintball
I actually
history.
have interview footage with you that you don't know about.
Oh, really?
I do.
Well, I have spoken about paintball history a lot, so you know,
Yes.
use whatever you can. I'm always here if you need me. So, John, thank you for everything you're
Yeah, man.
doing. Thank you for everything that you've done. I love that you're helping keep the
Thanks.
fire lit for the narrative of paintball, which I'm obviously a huge fan of. So, before we get into the Planet Eclipse pre-show and the afternoon bracket, let's get a look here at the trailer.
How do you know these people don't have real guns? You don't know any of these people?
and in particular, as a weapon
You probably could lose your head.
have many observers concerned.
Not a game. Getting hurt in the game is not the issue at all.
I think that's
what
part
you
of
are
the
getting a
issue.
rush to is violence.
The purpose is to execute, to kill another member of the human race.
Dr. Thomas Radecki of the National Coalition on TV Violence claims the survival game is the closest thing he's ever seen to killing people for fun.
I get up in the morning at the crack of dawn. No distractions, got my game face on. Cover my ground, let you'll ever see. 'Cause you can't see the forest by the trees.
Paintball is its own culture. It has its own equipment, its own apparel lines, its own lingo, online presence, magazines, video channels, films, influencers, books, podcasts, and live streams.
So it's going to be 3-on-3.
It's been featured in movies, video games, TV shows, music videos, national newspapers and magazines, and it is played all over the world. But it wasn't always this way. 12 men played a kids game, but one man birthed an industry. Hundreds would shape the game, millions would play it. There were those that tried to stop the game in its tracks.
Active in our city, I have a real problem with that.
Playing with fantasies of tracking down, hunting, and murdering people.
And those that would stop at nothing to
Dr.
preserve it.
Radecki, who, by the way, by his own admission, has never seen the game.
I'm not saying everybody agrees with that
You get an adrenaline rush from this game, unlike anything that I've ever encountered before. Little children love to be thrown up in the air. They get that kind of thrill out of a fear that's not really there. It's an illusion.
The game that was called survival ironically had to fight to
You were
survive.
camouflaged, you were kind of a crazy person and a wild person, had very bad aura to it.
This is the story of those that created the game, preserved it, and built its gear, the playing fields, international presence, tournament circuits, scenario games, teams, media, and its long-lasting culture. This is the real story of the game of paintball. This is the complete history of paintball.
Welcome back to 2019 NXL World Cup. It's going down right now here, Orlando, Florida. And this is the Planet Eclipse pre-show for the afternoon bracket. So we're day 2 of the prelims. I got Kyle Spick up here from the Los Angeles Iron, one of the best snake players on planet Earth. Been a little bit of rough go for you guys this weekend. We'll get into it. Hey, it happens. We were talking about that off camera. We'll get a little bit more into that. But the sets that are coming up here, 3 more sets to go during this day 2 prelims battles. Russians and New York Extreme coming up next, Kyle. Also Revo and Elevation. Also X Factor, DMG, Outlaws, ML Kings, Russians Elevation, and then Revo Damage. So those are the 3 sets to go. But before we get into talking about those sets, and we got about 12 minutes and 50 seconds before the start of this first point in the afternoon, let's talk a little bit about what happened. You can see there on your screen Friday's schedule here, 4-day event. And it started out this morning with a we had some really good games today. We had some blowouts too, but that Boom and Infamous match was a very close one. Boom took that victory. Boom looking so much better here at this event. AC Dallas beat up on San Diego Aftermath. You know, yesterday AC Dallas took a beating by Uprising, but they have answered in their past 2 games. They're sitting at 2-1 right now with 2 blowout wins in the last 2 games. Impact, 5-1 victory over PC Katana. Then San Diego Dynasty put the whipstick on the Ironman. Sorry, Kyle. But you guys have been going back and forth. You guys beat them at the last event in the beginning. They beat you. Now they beat you guys again. Infamous getting beat up by Thunder. So that was an upset and a very interesting game, which we'll talk a little bit more about. I don't know if you saw that one. And then
I did.
So then Heat and ML Kings. And that was also a really close match. ML Kings gave Dynasty a really good game. They gave Heat a really good game. They almost won that one. A couple kills here or there, and it very well could have been ML Kings for Heat 2. So we'll see what Heat does in their games tomorrow. And then X Factor had a really close game against Boom. And then Uprising surprised everyone, even though is it a surprise now?
After yesterday.
Right?
Yeah.
So let's start there. Let's talk about what I think is the most interesting story so far. And it is the fact that Uprising is doing as well as they are. Now, again, is that surprising? They did take 4th at 2 events ago, but then they came in and took 15th at the last event. So inconsistent. To be a top team, you have to be consistent. So let's talk about how good Uprising's done so far.
Well, to first talk about this, I was thinking about this last night, that, you know, this field is playing in a way kind of, you know, chaotic, but there is like a calculated sense to it. And I would say that AC Dallas and Impact are some of the most calculated teams in the division. Uprising, I don't think they really are coming down like to a calculated game plan. Like when this happens, this needs to happen, which I think might have been the kryptonite that hurt AC Dallas and Impact, because I think Uprising just came out and like they flowed and they went through it and they played paintball, and I think that might have been what might be a telling tale on how this field's playing.
That's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. Let's talk a little bit about how this field is playing. For you guys are having a hard time breaking balls on guys. You guys are having a hard time living off the break, particularly on that D side. It's been a struggle for you to try to stay alive on the break and in that Aztec over there. But defense isn't really working on this field.
No.
Occasionally
it is in
it will.
a way.
Again, but you have to get up the field a little bit.
Sure.
Then you can play defense. Obviously, completely contingent on who gets killed and when. But typically speaking, for most of the points that I've seen, when you have one team pushing and they're getting through the lanes and getting up there, and again, as always, if you're going to play defense, you got to make your shots.
Yeah.
But the teams that are trying to hold off in those terrible cans and trying to get out when they have get out wide later, when they haven't got out or they lose a body, try to flood another body, that guy dies too. We haven't really seen a ton of defense work on this field.
Sure.
And this is again one of the reasons why Uprising is playing so well. They've also had a little bit of magic when guys have been pushing into spots down a body or two. So just talk to me about what you think is and what you've seen, been working out here, what wasn't working for you guys. Break this field down a little bit for me.
Well, to add on to what you're talking about too, like there is spots that can hold on this field, but as the game starts to break down, you know, it's the people that are able to capitalize on realizing, oh, that guy's off of me, or like, okay, that guy was shot in the middle, this is open. And you're really seeing that on the guys that are capitalizing on the outside moves because they know that that's open. But I think there's a point, there's so many different spots on this field that can act like holding spots that it kind of, you know, halts people up about overthinking their move, and that's the difference here. And maybe that is what's helping Uprising, that they're, you know, not overthinking the move and they're just risking it and taking that next bump, regardless of someone shooting there, and it's paying off for them. They're taking the risk, not necessarily off the break, because I've been watching them. They're playing a little bit more of a pocket game, but they're taking those mid and late game risks, and it's paying off for them. So
and they're shooting a lot of bodies on the break too. If you go back to that AC, I think one of the reasons AC Dallas was struggling, same reason why you guys are struggling. If you go back, not the past 2 games from AC Dallas has been great, but you know, Uprising is shooting bodies on the break.
Yeah, and I mean it's no secret. You know, there's that inset Dorito that locks down the snake side.
Which we're calling D1.
D1
because it's the closest to the start station.
Sure. And then you have, you know, the 2 cans, the back center and the snake side can, that do a good job of both of them can do a really good job of halting the Dorito side. One of them can kind of slow the snake down. But, you know, like, if you're able to shoot one of those guys out and see that nobody's holding the Dorito side, that's when guys are flying down. And, you know, that's essentially why I started playing over there. But
yeah, so talk to me. Obviously, you probably got some points in on the snake side of the field. What do you think's working on the snake side?
You know, I think people, obviously when people are breaking through that gap and getting to the other team's side of the wing there, you guys calling that snake 3?
Which one?
When you come through to their side.
Red wing or blue ring?
Yeah. When you come onto their side, their wing, is really when people were paying off. The guys that can come up and wrap and know that there's no one in front of them contesting them, they're able to get shots on those inside cans, you know, the snake side Aztec, and then really come across into the other side of the field, and that's when everything's opening up. So the guys are taking that risk.
Yeah, but it is a little bit difficult if you don't get out early, which I think why a lot of guys are risking that inside route, which is working a lot. The inside route to the 50 brick is working a lot, and then they try to dive over. We've seen guys getting shot diving over.
Yeah.
But most of the time, guys are making it when they risk that body to the 50 brick. Again, risk versus reward, right? But if you don't get up there quick, then you got to get through D1's gap.
Yeah.
And that's where some guys have been getting eaten up. D1 is a position where you can get that crossfield shot to try to stop him going from the mini wall into that second set over there.
Yeah.
And you can see there on the top of your screen. So on the Dorito side, which is at the top of your screen with all of those, you know, teabaggy shaped bunkers, we call those Doritos. And the one that's closest to the start station, that's D1, the one that's out there. And you can see it tiers out. So obviously when you get to those wedges on both sides at around like the 40-yard line, that's when you have you can get gun dominance. And that's where bodies are trying to flood to. Now, because there is an open lane on that back corner bunker on the D side, lots of guys are getting chewed up trying to get to that spot. In fact, now more people are going out wide than going to D3 off the break. But I've seen more people make it off the break in their attempts to get to D3. Now we're getting a look here at some of the, you know, at some gameplay on that D side. So Kyle, that's the spot you've been going to, but that's been a little bit of a bunker of death for some guys. It's been tough out there. We see Jad Bougier, and I'm not now in this point. I think this clip he's gonna maybe make the move across. He ended up getting shot trying to get out from that spot. So talk to me about that move, because that's been a struggle.
That happened to me a couple times today, which I didn't. That was a little bit of switch today because I thought I had a little bit better shots from there versus yesterday. I mean, I got shot off the break 3-4 times. So in regard, you know, maybe that was. He did a great job of shooting off the break, and you know sometimes that's going to happen. And unfortunately, you know, regardless of like if they, you know, did an exceptional job, and maybe that wouldn't have been the case against Dynasty, you have to respect that, and you have to go, okay, maybe I have to tear back in a certain way, and that happened. And then I went to a spot that, you know, I'm a front specialist, so
absolutely
I can play those spots, but you know I wasn't, you know, very versed in it, I guess, and I think it showed a little bit.
Yeah, you know, you watch the games, and I'll say, look, I think you're one of the best players out there on your good days playing your position. But I don't like you as a guy that's, oh, I'm too valuable to die. Start me in the backfield. I feel, you know, you got to kind of play like Karslev does on that D side, or like Billy Bernaccia kind of plays on the snake side. Now, Billy doesn't always risk his body, but he's been doing a really good job. Obviously, they've won the past 2 tournaments.
Yeah.
But you're the Billy Bernaccia for the Los Angeles Ironman.
Sure.
You know, the reason why some of the highest paid guys out in paintball are the ones on the snake side of the field. or just the ones in general, depending unless you're like Justin Rabikoff or one of those guys. But he started out there.
Yeah.
You know, he started as one of those attackers. But I would like to see you get up the field a little bit more and get in there and just play offense.
100%.
You know, it's like the shortstop. You know, it's like to me. To use a baseball analogy, we could use a football analogy by saying, you know, you're the tailback.
Yeah.
You know, the tailback came to me and be like, you know, I kind of want to play tight end. I'd be like, no, dude, we pay you to be the guy just pounding the ball up the middle.
Yeah.
Like or running a slant outside. No, you're not the tight end, dude.
Yeah.
You're the most important guy on our offense.
Yeah.
Or the shortstop.
Yeah.
You know, or your number 4 hitter. Number 4 hitter is like, you know, I'm thinking leadoff, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, dude, you hit bombs.
Yeah.
Hit bombs. That's
Yeah.
what I need you to do.
Yeah.
Or the shortstop going like, I think first base is where I want to play. It's like,
Sure.
dude, you're the most athletic guy on the team. You're our shortstop.
Yeah.
Play your position. So.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mean to ride you, but that's what I'm seeing out there. You know?
I'm hard. I like to be hard on myself too. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, you know, you didn't, and I use people as examples. It's like you didn't come out of the womb an amazing paintball player.
Yeah.
You had to, you know, work hard in order to get to this spot.
Go through these obstacles, these hardships.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, you were a hero here at World Cup years ago with San Diego Dynasty. Then made the move back to the Ironman, as you played on that squad before. But sometimes, and we talked about this off camera, man, it's hard out here. You know, if you've been watching all weekend or all week so far, this entire center court is ringed with all of the winners from the different events in the NXL.
Yeah.
So there's 20 banners hanging over there and lots of names, 20 different names, and there are very few names hanging up on the ones that have won.
Like I said, I was talking to a guy that came out here and came to visit its first World Cup, and he's like, man, what does it take out here? And I gave him that analogy. I was like, you see all these banners around this pro field? I was like, there's 20 pro teams. Look how many teams have won in the last 5 to 6 years. And like, look at X Factor, man. I think they're 100% one of the best teams in the league, and they just got back into that. Like it
took them 5 years.
Yeah,
it was 27 tournaments.
Yeah,
until they won. Always making sunny. Imagine that frustration.
Yeah,
this is what you give your passion to. You know, this is what you dedicate a decent portion of your life to. Everyone's got work and family and other obligations. I mean, but this is your outlet.
AC Dallas too, man. It's tough, dude.
Yeah, 4 times they've been in the finals, twice this year, yet to pull the trigger on a win. It's so difficult. But before we jump in to this next set, again, it's going to be Russians taking on New York Extreme, Revo, and Elevation. Let's get a word from our sponsors. So we got just a couple minutes to go here before we get into this next match. That match will be brought to you by Die Precision. So I'm assuming you still got some guns for sale, right?
Yeah, definitely got some guns for sale. Hit me up on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, so okay, let's talk about the battles coming up here. Russians, NYX, Revo, Elevation. Your thoughts, Russians, how they looking?
I mean, pretty
good.
spectacular. They look hungry. I mean, we just took them down as the Golden State Kings in Europe, and seeing their faces after, I think that gave them some fire. So, and yesterday, you know, they definitely put on a show. They look like they're out here for business. So, but NYX, you never can sleep on those dudes. And I was talking to Harris over there in the VIP, and he's hilarious. And he was just talking about like getting creative, you know, and like anybody can win out here, man. It's just a mental game too.
Look at what we've seen.
Yeah,
we've seen some upsets. We've seen Boom beating Infamous, and you know, so we've seen some of these teams trying to tear up, hang with some of these top squads. And you can see the FanWagon prediction there on your screen. Revo 82%, a big favorite over Elevation, 18 for them, and Red Legion, rightfully so, a gigantic favorite over Extreme. But Extreme can hang with top teams. It's just what day are they going to have? This is a little bit of a crazy field, so. Yeah, can they hang with them? Sure, they definitely possibly can. And we are about 36 seconds away from jumping into this next one. Also going to have Todd Martinez coming up here to help us call this one. So here we go. Russians on your screen. Russians were lights out against Tampa Bay Damage. Yesterday, they only let Tampa Bay Damage put 1 point on the board. We'll see if they can keep it going today. Karslev is a absolute machine, just a killing machine on that D side. There he is, number 92, next to Sergei Slonivskov, the pickup coming over from Heat, and then you got Burtnikov out there. This is the stock starting 5 for Red Legion. Todd, how you doing?
Doing real good, Matty. Happy to be up here. Got a good seat to watch this game as Karslev once again tries to go up and around all the way to the Dorito 3, but gets shot. Then Sergey gets shot on the fill.
Oh, look at this, though. 2 bodies coming off also for Extreme, so a little bit of a bloodbath of a start for both these squads. It's 3-on-3.
Lackey got over here into the wishbone on the break, or fairly quickly after there. He's looking on the inside now, trying to pinch out Kirill in the back center, and Smotrov having to deal with that Dorito side. Things are getting real small.
Yeah, Lackey looks like he's going to get taken out. So, you know, when you're playing Legion at 3-on-3, oh man, you really got to pick and choose your gunfights here. So Lackey coming off, that's going to make it a 2-on-3, like I said. And looks like Pat Kraft, though, is up at that 50-yard line. So Extreme pushing the issue here. They get Hennessy into the wedge. So pretty good field position here for Extreme, even with the 1-body disadvantage. Legion with 3 bodies alive. Smotrov here looking like he wants to make something happen and move up. Hennessy, he's at the mini wall there. That's the bunker with a little nipple on the top. And you can see Smotrov poking his head over the top of that spot. Hennessy in front of him. Where is the 3rd body for the Russians? I think it might be a 2-on-2 situation. Oh, look at this. Kirill Bridney gets shot, so it's going to be Smotrov here. And I think it's Pat Kraft Jr. in that center, still alive. So it might be a 1-on-1 situation. Pat Kraft, he's been in lots of 1-on-1s. He comes across. Smotrov's up over the top, and Smotrov lost him, and Pat Kraft Jr. shoots him into the ground.
Oh, blows him out of his boots.
And
nice move by Pat.
Oh, Pat Kraft's going to do the loader dump on Smotrov. He's going to try to get in Smotrov's head right now. Oh, Pat Kraft's pumped up already.
There we go.
Oh, then Pat Kraft gives him some respect, though.
Yeah.
Hey, that was nice. That was cool from Pat, you know, because, I mean, we're talking about Leo Smotrov here.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily the guy you want to fire up.
No.
You know,
I love Pat, too. Like I
love Pat.
Over the year, you know, I got to do a clinic with him and get to know him. He's a really good guy and he cares about paintball in general as a whole, too. So.
Yeah, that was a beautiful job.
One thing I did want to say, even though, you know, Karslev made that run again and he got shot, I kind of like that because, you know, he did that all day yesterday, and he's basically saying, like, who can shoot me?
Yep.
And if you come out here and you still make that run right there and you don't get shot, then that kind of signifies, like, okay, you know what, maybe I do got this. So.
Well, I mean, back in the day, Dave Youngblood on the Ironman used to tell us all the time. He's like, they know what we're doing, but can they stop it?
Sure.
And if you're the Russians right now, if I'm Karslev, dude, he was unstoppable yesterday. Todd and I talked about this. I mean, if they're just going to let him run to that D3, it's like, shoot me.
Yeah.
I'm going to run to this spot until somebody can put a ball on me.
Sure.
And finally, somebody did it, and it was New York Extreme. Now, are they going to continue to run that play? I don't know. Obviously, you don't want to be you want to be unpredictable, but if it is working, you might want to keep going with that game plan, which is what's been going on. Anyway, jumping into Baltimore Revo here, taking on Elevation. And on the breakout, looks like a pretty solid break for both squads, as it is a 5-on-5. Good field position right now for Revo on D. They have D2 and D1. And it also looks like decent field position for Elevation as they're about to crawl a body up into that center 50. Revel's going to get Darula up in that center. And then he's going to hit the deck and crawl up there. So we haven't seen this a ton. As easy as that center is to make, we really haven't seen it mirrored up that often.
Yeah, I feel like you're not seeing it as much, too, because once you're up there, because of those beams there, you know, we are seeing people jump over the beams, but you kind of feel like you're a little less mobile there because you're kind of, if you know, late in the game, you're having to go back into those towers, which kind of opens you up to a lot of people shooting at you. So, you know, it's not as fluid for you to come through, bunker that guy like we're seeing right here, and get into that tower clean, you know? Because that beam's there, which kind of slows down your pace a little bit.
So Revel losing 2 bodies here, and it looks like Elevation also, I think, with at least 1 drop. Maybe, I think they also have 2 bodies have dropped. I believe it is a 3-on-3. Todd, you think it's a 3-on-3?
I got 3 Elevation guys over here, and
looks
I
like
got
3
Rebel guys.
Yeah.
Here comes Josh Pike, who typically plays on the D side, but because this is an unconventional layout, you know, we don't have a traditional snake out here. It's more of a, like Todd was saying yesterday, it really is a wishbone. We're just calling it the snake side, though, because try to keep things consistent. Been watching paintballs for so long, I'm not trying to confuse everybody out there. But right now, Pike in good position here at the at this double cake bunker, shooting cross field. Also, they have a body at D2, so good cross field spread right now for Revo. Better field position for him too.
This is like these setups are like what we were talking about earlier, that like whoever can find the opening first is who's going to really capitalize on this. Because, you know, it's funny when you you're in this situation and you're like thinking about, okay, this guy can shoot me, okay, this guy can shoot me, and then you come watch it on the webcast and you're like, man, that was open the whole time. You know, it makes it tough. You know, so that's when you're really seeing the elite players make the best moves because they're able to figure it out faster. You know.
Well, we were just talking about how hard it is out there.
Yeah.
So, oh, look at this though. A body has dropped right now for elevation.
Yeah, that might be the one there. As Pike now comes into the wishbone, he's got that luck across the field, but Kerr bumped up into Pike's old mirror. And he's playing heads up, and then he gets caught by Pike heads up. So just 3-on-1 elevation player now.
Looks like Revo is about to close it out here.
And that is going to do it. That's another kill there for Pike. I think he got that kill across field. And so nice work by Josh Pike. He's one of the reasons that Revo became a top team last year. I remember talking to Henry Sense on the drive out to Vegas, and he told me, look, Matty, I really feel that we're going to have a good 2018. And they ended up doing so. They took to 2 top 4 finishes and really started to assert themselves, in that top 10. And then they did miss the cut at World Cup. Since then, they made all the cuts, but they just can't seem to get out of those wild card or quarterfinal matches.
Yeah.
Here this year, at least.
Yeah.
But starting things off nicely here against Elevation. Now, Elevation is fighting for their very lives in the pro division. 20 teams here, and the bottom place team gets relegated. Top semi-pro team will come up. Now, who is the top semi-pro team going to be? There's a lot of good teams down there. We'll see them Sunday afternoon here on center court with all of the divisional finals. Oh, that was nice. Pat Kraft came out and did a little high five with Smotrov. So
there you go.
no respect given.
No, like you said, doesn't want to fire him.
Yeah, he's probably like, it's good, bro. It's good.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
cool. I'm sorry. My bad. I got a little heated.
Yeah.
Let's see if, when you see this on the replay.
Yeah.
Let's see if Karzlev maybe does a little switch up. I mean, I feel like we could see him just make the run again.
Is he going to do it? Now, where's Karzlev going to go? Karzlev's going to go to the back corner bunker this time, and he makes it clean. That's a tough run, man. I've seen a lot of guys get shot in that. And referee's going to run in, playing aggressive on the D side off the break. They sent a body to D1 and D2, and then trying to shut that inside down lane. Oh, and he gets the shot on Malloy. I thought that something broke off of his foot.
It did, off his foot, yeah.
That's a nice shot by Harris Hussein. Looking at from them. We just talked about those shots there,
yeah,
Kyle.
Yeah. But, you just saw it was like barely off the edge of his cleat. So
he had to shoot him as he got horizontal on the foot.
Yeah. And that NYX player over in the Dorito 3 was getting checked out by the ref for a while, but seemed to be fine. Definitely took a hard bounce off the break.
Still 5 players alive right now for New York Extreme. We're looking at our D-side cam. There's Scotty Graham over there with Harris Hussein. Harris Hussein still looking. Now this time Kirill goes low into the center, and he's going to make it clean. So good position in the center of the field here for Red Legion.
Karzlev's up there in the Dorito 4. Made a big inside move all the way up there.
Yeah, another guy, Karzlev, spent years honing his craft. He started with the Russian program, I believe, when he was 15 or 16. He's 27. That's how long he's been working at this to start to become a star. Smotrov at the double cake bunker on the snake side. We're still looking over the shoulder here for New York Extreme with that 1-point lead. And there's Smotrov, our Golden Barrel winner from the third event, and sorry, from the second event. But then he had a knee injury with his meniscus, I believe. Todd, do you remember what his knee? I mean, you hung out with him in Europe.
Yeah, I think it was his meniscus, but it wasn't major. It was just take time off and get some of that good Russian medicine. And it's good to see him back here, see the Russians at full strength.
Yeah, especially for Cup. I mean, the Russians had 3 of their starting players missing from the last event. They got knocked out in the quarterfinals. They played great in the prelims, though. But yeah, coming to World Cup with as good as the Russians have been playing this year, winning the series title over in Europe, I really was hoping they'd be at full strength.
And you're looking at Kirill, who moved out of that big center brick back to the Dorito side tower because he actually got busted by the Dorito 2 for NYX player, and he intelligently moving back to maybe get that, and he did. He got that kill because maybe he was reaching too hard. He still thought Kirill was in the middle of the field.
Scotty Graham walking off for NYX, going to be a 4-on-4 now. As Malloy walked off early when he tried to come up the middle and across to the wishbone. But Kirill in the middle. Smotrov now here in the 50 brick on the snake side. Karzlev still alive over there, right?
Yep.
With Sergey behind him watching the snake side. Altimore has been looking across most of the point.
They did shoot Sergey, or sorry, Karzlev out of the Dorito side. And Smotrov trying to wheel and deal over here, get some kills.
Oh, and then he looks like Robbie Altimore, I think, just
trading out with
Smotrov.
Yeah.
That's good. Get
So
Smotrov off the field.
In pretty good position.
They lose another body, though.
But they did shoot Kirill, so I think it's going to be a 2-on-1.
Pat Graff's still alive here. He's always the last guy left alive for New York Extreme.
No. You still have Harris over there in the Dorito
sorry.
1.
Yeah, man, Harris
And
playing tight in there.
I believe it's just Sergey left over there in the Dorito 2 against Harris and Pat Graff. So, you know.
Well, the Russians struggling a little bit to try to find the offense that they had yesterday against kind of...
Oh, they shoot Sergey. Pat Graff gets a kill across the field over the top, and he is hyped. He's on fire.
He is feeling it right now.
He just gave us the let me eat.
Yeah.
Nice job. That's 2 solid points in a row for Pat Kraft.
Yeah, he came out and came into the blind spot on the snake side to catch Kirill on the inside of that X to make it a 2-on-1.
It's funny, Harris is probably going to be mad I called him out for this, but we were both in the VIP booth yesterday, and Harris is watching Karzlev just destroying people down the other side. And he's like, I'm not gearing up tomorrow. I can't beat this guy. And I'm like, dude, you got to just get creative. Come on, like, you'll go home, figure it out. You got this. And, like, they're pulling it out. So they got to be hyped right now.
Oh, man, they got to be up by 2, but can't get complacent quite yet. A lot of time left, and they are playing the Russian Legion. So, but looking good early on, man. I really got to just say mad respect to a lot of these up-and-coming squads. Boom. Obviously, Uprising right now, New York Extreme.
ML King's
Thunder.
playing pretty good. Sorry.
Yeah,
I mean, they haven't pulled out the games, but like they're in them.
Absolutely. PC Katana beat after. I mean, yeah, they're just looking. A lot of guys that really came prepared for World Cup. Really improving.
And you're seeing that Dorito 2 player get checked again. I mean, that's that same spot I was getting clipped going out against Houston Heat. It's a tough run, but it's really rewarding if you do get out there.
And looking at the line for Revo here, in those terrible cans, it's tough to play those spots.
Elevation losing a second body over here off the snake side. Kerr's going to fill out to the snake corner now. Mazurek still on the inside temple, looking across the field. And the Dorito 2 for Elevation. Revo have body in both cans. The inside big Dorito. Mazurek making a move up for Elevation into the middle. Try and cut down that Dorito side. But Revo now looks like they want to try and use this opportunity to get across to the snake side. Painter and Pike both over here. Kerr getting shot for Elevation.
Yeah, it looked like Kerr was trying to make a move into the laydown, and he tripped on his way out of the snake corner there.
Now Pike getting into the wishbone here, the blue wedge. Kyle, you talked about how important that next move is, though. Getting across.
It's hairy, but once you get there, like you'll see right now, he's going to close the game.
Well, misses shot crossfield, though, on D3, which is going to allow a kill to happen for Zaleski. Man, Revo looking good in that one again. So Elevation really need to pick things up here. They got beat by New York Extreme yesterday. I think that was their only game yesterday, but Elevation is absolutely fighting for their lives here. They're in 20th place, and they only have 30 overall points. ML Kings, man, the way ML Kings are doing right now, 115, I think that, I think it's going to be really, but they haven't been winning their games. But Elevation, yeah, it's tough. Elevation has to make a Sunday, essentially, or, you know, take an 11th place and have the ML Kings take a 20th to even have a chance, because they're sitting at 30, ML Kings 115.
Yeah.
That's quite the difference here.
Sure.
So, and again, this game is brought to you by Dye Precision. You got 2 guys from the Los Angeles Ironman up here rocking those M3 Pluses. So Kyle, talk to me about that gun, man.
Pretty incredible gun. There's a lot of technology in it. I mean, rechargeable batteries. You can check out pretty much any setting that you could possibly think of in a gun is in that gun. I mean, consistency, the air efficiency is incredible. I personally use the DSR, but I think that, you know, it's just a little more like raw, like it's like a dagger for me, but if you want those accurate shots, and I think this is your guy.
Well, it's cool to have different platforms to use, though. You know, and the Dye Lab coming out with the arc anodizing one-offs.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, those guns that they made for this event, those one-of-ones are pretty incredible. They did some good work with those.
So 9-11 on the clock here, and 2-point lead. The Russians losing Karslev again.
Going to that same spot.
Yeah, it was Karslev.
Yeah, it was going. So he was going on same run over to the Dorito too.
And that's Pat Kraft shooting his gun from the back center towards that Dorito side.
Yeah.
Along with Altamore shooting across from the snake side can. Here goes Kraft up into the middle.
But Malloy getting up here over into the snake wing.
Pat Kraft's going to come around and shoot up Dennis Goleb, but then they protect him. Well, they didn't protect him, but they were able to get Kraft. But Kraft did his job to get that thorn in their side. But Malloy is in the good field position over here at the red wedge.
Yeah, the Russians are still in good position and they're pressing, even though it is a 4-on-3. But Russians just lose Sergey, which just leaves the 2 players over here, Malloy and Smotrov, in a 4-on-2. So if NYX can hold this out and figure out where those last 2 bodies, they should be able to close it, but you never want to underestimate the Russians.
Yeah, Malloy over here. Smotrov just reverse field back to the back center. But the Russians, now Bierdnikov backs up. He goes to the double kick, and he's going to look across the field. Harris Hussein's over here. Altamore is still alive. I thought that Hennessy was still alive as well.
NYX is doing a good job of not coming into their guns, though, because that's what all the Russians need right now is, plink a couple guys out as they're going through these zones, and then they're back in it. But, especially against a Russian team like this, with Malloy still on the field, you have to make sure you're really watching every zone because he can come to one other side of the field in an instant.
Well, we saw Russians play the damage squad yesterday, Tampa Bay Damage, and beat them up real bad. I saw the damage guys actually afterwards, Holiday, both the Edwards brothers, Tim Montresor, and they were frustrated with the loss that they took. But then Kirill said, he's like, look, man, we can't sleep on any of these teams that we play next. And then here comes Harris Hussein coming through, and he's going to bunker out, shoots Malloy into the ground, and stays alive.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
And they shoot
a shot on Harris, yeah.
What is going on here? Wow, unbelievable. As now 3 unanswered points. Harris
We got a game.
Giving us a little bow.
Yeah.
Beautiful bunker move on Malloy, and then it finished off with, looks like, is that Scotty Graham? Yeah. And I think Altamore. So just everyone right now getting their licks in here on the Russians. Everyone's getting to eat for New York Extreme.
Yeah, great move by Harris, though, to, as Malloy put him in and went to that next bunker, instead of Harris saying, freaking out and telling the whole team, hey, he knew where Smotrov was, and he ran over there and took the initiative and took him off the field, knowing that even if I lose my body, I'm putting my team in a 3-on-1.
Well, look what they're doing. They're not expecting to stay in the can and win that gunfight.
Sure.
They're making those unconventional, awesome attacks and making the Russians pop. Like, oh, my God, they're attacking us, and they should be hiding in that spot and waiting me for shoot them out, and that's not what's happening.
100%.
So that's a lot of heart right now being shown by New York Extreme here. Now we'll see what the Russians are made of. 10 minutes on the clock, 2-point lead for Baltimore Revo here as they take all of the back line. Conservative breakout for Revo. I mean, it's not that conservative to take those outside spots because it is hard to make it out there, but they do shoot a body for elevation off that dreaded D side of the field. And I feel like more bodies are coming off from the blue Dorito side of the field than from the red side of the field in those back spots.
Yeah. I mean, it might be even telling that, look at, like, they've shot Karslev 2 out of their last 3 points off the break and fallen after that. I mean, the reward is huge over there, like we saw yesterday, but it also is super, super risky running out there.
Yeah, now Revo here with good field position up in the center of the field, and they're going to scurry a body, stays low, and gets into D4. It's like, I think that's Mazurek making his move for elevation up into the mini wall, blue mini wall in the center.
It's tough because Elevation's made that move twice mid-game into the center of the field, that center laydown, but unfortunately he's got caught both times, and that's what you don't want with that, because now you're kind of you're posted on a zone that they know you're there, so you're not going to get that free kill off of.
And there is a kill on Espinoza trying to make it up the field here on the snake side for Elevation.
Kerr made a nice fill out for Elevation, coming all the way out of the back center over to the snake side corner, though, to spread the field a little bit.
Yeah, he's had to do that a lot. Let's see if he can get something out of it this time. Derula's still there in the middle. Mazurk's going to go in there with him. But they don't have the extra body to trade. He's going to need to try and get a 2-for-1. He might have just got caught.
Oh, yeah, he definitely got caught by the... Oh.
I think Zupa picked him up.
Yeah.
But there was 3 bodies over there.
Yeah, Revo is really doing everything they need to do in this match. They're shooting bodies, they're controlling, they're playing aggressive, they're making good bumps, those good secondary moves. Everything's
not
working
doing
out.
too much, not doing any heroics, just playing good, solid team paintball.
Yeah, as Dave Baines would say sometimes, nothing exotic.
Yeah.
Slow, methodical, smart paintball being played by Revo. Slowly but surely increasing their lead. 6 minutes and 47 seconds left for Legion to come back. Now, talking about comebacks. We're working on 5 Sundays right now, the documentary series that will be coming out in the off season. First one, I think November 28th, maybe, I think 3 weeks after Cup. But going back and rewatching the comeback that the Russians had against Impact to knock them out in Texas was nasty.
Yeah,
so if any team out here can come back, it's going to be.
They're definitely still in the game. Like, you know, let's see what changes they make right here.
Well, can they keep shooting Karslev off the break? Karslev is going to run and gun out to the back corner bunker and able to make it out wide alive. Looks like a 5-on-5 break here for both of these squads. Referee is scouring over Hennessy though for New York Extreme, but it looks like he's clean.
Oh, but they shoot Karslev again out of the corner, out of his bunker. No, not even on a move, but Sergey does make it into the Dorito 4 there with Kirill coming out behind him.
Hey, people know now, if you're going to beat the Russians, you need to stop Karslev. Yeah, we've been talking about Smotrop, he won the Golden Barrel, but then we saw what Karslev was capable of all year long. And even starting all the way back to their win last season as well, too. And you want to beat the Russians, you got to stop Karslev, you got to stop Smotrop. They're stopping Karslev right now. But they're in this defensive play here, and this is tough. We haven't really seen this work a ton.
Yeah.
And sure enough, they lose their back corner bunker here on the Snake side.
But we also see Malloy come off the field, but Russians are moving down that Dorito side.
Sergey. Well, here's a look at the D side battle. Sergey Solnayskov is doing damage for the Russians right now.
Good job by Hennessy to get out of that can and over to the Snake side to spread the field and stop a little bit of the bleeding. But I think that they really need to make sure they're halting that Dorito side over there.
Todd, is there anyone on the Snake side for the Russians?
There's nobody on the Snake side. The opportunity, they could have
did shoot
farther
Sergey.
this way if they want to.
Harris dies. Kirill's still over there in the 400 or their side wing. Oh no, he got shot as well. So it looks like, yeah, one last player.
Wow.
Golov getting shot out of the middle. And another chaotic point. Some great damage control by NYX.
Wow. New York Extreme is shutting out the Russian Legion right now. They're shooting Karslev out, even on the defense, which hasn't worked a ton. They're making their shots. If you're gonna play defense, you gotta make your shots. So looking at the My Fan Wagon predictions, you're trying to win guns. If you can pick upset wins, man, you got a real good chance. And right now, the 8% out there that picked New York Extreme, man, it is looking pretty good for you. Still some time left in this game, and you never can count the Russian Legion out with what that we've seen in the past. But it does not look good so far. Eight minutes still here in this match between Scottsdale Elevation and Baltimore Revo. And the first body to come off is going to be for Elevation here in the split screen breakout. Revo just continuing to kind of make it look easy out here.
Revo, good position over there in the Dorito 3 also.
Max Trailer comes out, doubling up that back center spot. And now with this lead, it's really up to Elevation. Oh, penalty is
a red flag.
Oh, major. That's the desperation penalty right there.
Yeah.
So it's going to be essentially a free point here for Revo, getting a big gift.
It's tough right now because Revo is shooting one, two guys really early, if not on the break, and they're not giving Elevation anything to get back in the game. They're not, they're content on, well, let's get that third body off the field, and then we'll start to make these calculated moves.
One of the things I love about Revo, and I think this is anytime you're seeing any team play well, is that that secondary pressure.
Sure.
You shoot that first body, and then you don't get complacent.
Yeah.
You're rolling, you're taking that extra advantage. That's 20% of their firepower off. Then you get that next kill. Now they're down 40% of their firepower.
Yeah.
And then you just keep that pressure up. And there's almost no mistakes at all from anyone on Revo. Across the board, they're getting production. Center of the field doing real well there. D side looking strong. Snake side as well too. Pike's playing great. So, I mean, they're looking strong out here. They're looking real efficient against Elevation. So 2 kind of blowouts right now. We did not expect this.
Yeah.
This New York Extreme Legion score here, but still 5 minutes and 17 seconds left. Legion might just be setting themselves up for another historic comeback. And I know that may seem like a lot, but if you're just tuning into paintball, you might think it's not possible. But if you go back some of the comebacks we've seen in previous years, Impact did it against the Russians in Texas in 2018. This year it happened, except it was the Legion taking out Impact. And then Impact did it again against Legion in Europe last year too. So you can see these comebacks.
What do you know, and it's tough because I feel like, the Russians can obviously alter their game plan a little bit, but they still have to apply pressure. I mean, a lot of times come off the board. 5 minutes, 4 points, like you have to average about, 110, 120.
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure.
Point.
Well, Todd, I mean, I remember when I was on, playing against you and you were on Dynasty. Dynasty was also like really good at those comebacks. What do the Russians need to do right now?
The Russians need to start off by making sure they hit somebody on the break,
which
they just did here, as they continue to attack down that Dorito side, but just to push it a little bit quicker, and that's what they're doing here. Sergey, instead of stopping at the Dorito, has gone up to the Dorito side tower. Kirill coming with him up to the Dorito side tower.
Yeah,
and just looking to push.
What's nice about this too for the Russians is it's pretty relatively safe to get up to the middle early, especially when NYX does not want you to get to the outsides. So you go in there, and it's not like you're sitting there waiting. You want NYX to know that you're in there. Then they focus on you, and then those outside guys can start to come down the tapes.
Well, Alexander Burtnikov, exactly. Outside guys coming down the tapes. He's past the 50-yard line into this crucial spot onto New York Extreme side of the field, and probably going to get a shot on Pat Graff Jr.'s back, and he does. And then here comes Malloy. Malloy's going to push forward. There goes, looks like Altimore getting shot out in front of him, and so the Russians able to put a pretty quick point up here, a 1 minute point, right around 1 minute. Actually more like 50 seconds.
Yeah.
Todd, do you remember exactly how much time there was to start?
5:20.
5:20. Okay, so a little over a minute, but
I mean, that's what
on pace.
Yeah.
On pace-ish.
They got to have, so you said what, 120, 130 under per point?
So now only down by 3.
A good job by the Russians, though, because they know that NYX is really, putting a lot of pressure on shooting that Dorito guy and making sure that they don't come right down the tape on the Dorito side. So they went up the middle, drew that attention, allowed those outside guys to get up down the tape.
Well, let's get a look here at this replay. So you can see the doubled up in the center with Sergey and Kirill, and then here's a look of it from that D side, and falling quickly here. New York Extreme, there's Altimore catching a couple extra, actually. That's kind of to be expected in that situation. 7:15 on the clock, and Revo putting a beating on Elevation right now. Looks like they might be shooting another body on the break from that snake, and they do.
I'm not really sure why he made that run, because he just got shot off the break on that exact same route, on that coming up and over.
Well, if Elevation's going to have any chance, it needs to happen right now. 7, little under 7, and Revo just letting Revo do pretty much whatever they want. Revo doing a great job of shooting bodies on the break. Little slip from Max Trailer as he tried to get out of the back center, but he stayed alive. And now he's just one-handing it over his buddy right here.
Omar, he's going to sneak out to the corner. Darula comes underneath, goes to the middle. Elevation got that major penalty last point that really cost them, put them in this 4-0 deficit. But trying to attack over on that Dorito side. Got 2 bodies over there. Zerk and Hale over here on the snake side heads up. But now Darula's in position. He can lock off this snake side from that middle. And looks like he gets his first kill on the Zerk.
You can see the 3 bodies there on your screen left out there for Elevation as we hit the 6-minute mark. And they're going to try to dig out snake side, and looks like he makes it clean. Derula talking it up with his guys. Looking back and yelling towards them. And trying to deal with the body at D3. Trying to make sure he doesn't move up that side. And now Derula's going to look in towards the center of the field. Looking at elevation, though, trying to hold off Revo. As here comes O'Mara, and O'Mara is going to dive into the red wedge, 40-yard line.
He barely missed that shot from the elevation player over there in the Dorito 1, too. Shooting that lane.
Max Trailer right behind O'Mara.
Elevation player able to sneak through that Dorito gap to the wedge. And it looks like he's going to shoot Derula in the back of the head. Derula ducks down, but nope, there goes that elevation player. He gets shot heads up by Henry Sense. And Dan Zaleski, Hale getting shot off the snake side. It's going to be just Mike Kerr over there.
Yeah, Sense is pushing past the 50 here and on the D side of the field. And that's going to do it. Another easy point for Revo. Bunch of bodies left alive for them. So under 5 minutes to play and only 1 point away from a Mercy Rule win for Revo. Yesterday, Revo got a win, very close match against New York Extreme. It was actually a come-from-behind victory. Extreme went up by 2 and then just went hardcore defense, and it didn't work out for them.
Yeah.
Now, I'm wondering, since they're in a similar situation here, except up by 3 with 4:13, how much defense are they going to play, and what type of defense are we talking about?
You know what's funny is I was just thinking, I don't think they're going to play. I think they're going to attack a little bit.
They probably should.
Yeah.
So let's check in with our sideline reporter, Lauren Kelly.
Thanks, Maddie. New York Extreme is always hyped in the pits. Before going out to this point, Kraft Jr. said 4 minutes to greatness. They want to go out here, fight, take this win, and show the Russians that they can play them and win this point.
Oh, they've been doing real good so far. And off the break, it looks like, there, you asked for it, and you got it. You asked for it, and you got it, Kyle. And they go heavy aggressive here with Lackey. Lackey's in past the 50-yard line. He's going to get a free kill here on Sergey. Sergey has no idea. The Russians are getting blown off the field right now. And then there's going to be maybe another kill. No, yeah, and he trades out with Smotrov, so that's at least a 2-pack here for Lackey. What a quick point, a bloodbath, crazy fast point here for New York Extreme to put their 5th point on the board. Just dominant here against the Russian Legion, a team that at one point in the middle, there's a crowd going wild right now, getting pumped up by Harris Hussein. Oh, the referees I think warning Harris Hussein. Oh no, now he's asking for some more. Wow. So yeah, the fans starting to pack out here. World Cup, man, tons of teams here, thousands of players here at the World Cup across, God, I want to say like 15 different types of divisions and different types of paintball. We will see all of the divisional finals here on center court come Sunday. Tomorrow, we're actually going to have the North American Championships here on the main field, where we were going to have the best divisional teams from the different regional series. Todd, I think that's a really cool thing that they're doing now, the North American Championships.
Yeah, absolutely. I get to go to the USXBL, so I get to watch all those teams from Texas, Oklahoma, you know, all the like really good local talent in the D4, D3, D4, and D5, right? And then you have the winner from the MSXL, the winner from the
MVPS. And I got to go to one of those in the beginning of the year. And actually, Palm Beach Reckless is the team that won the series title. And their star snake player is our cameraman and editor extraordinaire, Arthur Dorshansky.
So it's basically a tournament of champions. You have to win your way into the tournament.
Which is, I think that's just really cool. You got to start somewhere. And
awesome.
I just, I love the power and strength of these regional leagues, and just mad respect to all the guys running those leagues and women too, because they're in the mix. But it's just it's very good for the sport of paintball, and I'm really happy that we're going to have the the first and second place game going down here on center court after the games tomorrow afternoon.
It's just so cool that you get to go and win your region, and then have a good chance to go play against the teams that won their regions. You know.
So now it's split screen breakout. Revo 1 point away from a Mercy Rule victory here, and Elevation just no answer at all for Revo here in this one. I feel like the most bodies that Revo's lost in the points maybe been 3.
Yep, well, they lose 2 on the break here. As Henry Sense and Max Trailer shooting from that Dorito side temple, and the Dorito side can blow them up.
And it looks like Revo has noticed that Mike Kerr's in that back center. I don't think they're going to let him get out to the snake corner again like he has in the past few points.
Yeah.
I see Max Trailer over there just shooting right back up the pipe at elevation, and Mike Kerr in the back center for elevation.
Revo looking, even with the two-body advantage, that they're in no hurry to move up the field. There are the 3 players left alive for elevation. Here comes the move out for Kerr, and he's going to get picked off. So Revo holding those lanes nicely and efficiently killing these elevation players off the break. Just 2 more kills is what Revo needs to put the finishing touches on this Mercy Rule victory. Still with a full complement of players out there. Max Trailer in the back corner bunker. Steven O'Mara, arguably the best player on the team. Normally the attacker up the center, but they've been having him snake side, D side, center a little bit different here, but this is a little bit of an unconventional layout with the wishbone here on what is normally the snake side. We're still calling it the snake side just for consistency's sake. And now pushing up on the D side, and here comes O'Mara to maybe execute the last player. Not going to need to finish that run as a Mercy Rule win for Baltimore Revo.
Who did Revo beat yesterday, Matty?
NYX, and a come from behind victory. Yeah, so under 3 minutes, that game is over. And victory here for Revo. Now, can NYX put the finishing touches themselves on this Russian Legion game that's, again, just a huge upset, 92 to 8% on the MyFanWagon prediction. So also, if you weren't able to play Fantasy Paintball, there's still time. We have the Sunday Club, can win a MacDev Prime. MacDev also has a brand new MacDev Prime that is a bunch of new features. You can check that out at their booth. We'll be talking about that next couple days. But yeah, wait, so Saturday afternoon, after we figure out who's playing who, that's when you can make those picks for the Sunday Club. Man. So Russians, how are they going to answer? Yeah, 3:53 to go here, down by 4. And because it's Moscow Red Legion, the Russians, they still got a shot. But have really been grinding their gears out here in this one.
4 points, 4 minutes. They could do it. Let's see if they capitalize. Oh, Karslev getting shot out early. He didn't even make it anywhere close outside of the tape.
Well, it looks like Extreme is losing 1. They might be losing 2 here off the break, and maybe a penalty if this player is hit.
No, he was fine.
He's fine, so. Oh, another body walking off of the Russians. It's Sergey. Sotrov is still alive here on the snake side of the field. He's in the wishbone at the red wedge.
Starts shooting at the can. Immediately, that's Hennessy in there. But he's feeling the pressure from across the field in that Dorito corner as well. As Paint's coming up over the top, here comes Malloy through the middle of the field. Nobody on that Dorito side for the Russians. Malloy now going to the center X tower, trying to look that way and wrap and get a shot in on this can. That's holding up Smotrov. Smotrov using that big brick on the inside to come to the opposite end of the wishbone. 2:55 on the clock. There goes Malloy.
Smotrov creeping through on the attack to try to make something happen. He has no choice, must go forward, and then he's going to get taken out.
Pat Kraft with a quick wrap, but Smotrov does shoot the corner.
Looks like it's going to be a 2-on-1.
Russians intelligently conceding the point.
Wow.
To preserve the time. That's the 6 point on the board here for New York Extreme. Wow.
Staying alive. Smotrov all the way on NYX's side of the field, past the 50, into their small cakes, and NYX just tucking in, communicating, and staying alive.
So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. Before we see if New York Extreme can take this win or if the Russians can make a run back, you can never really count them out. I'm talking to Matt Derula from Revo. You guys beat New York Extreme yesterday. You're going into your next 2 prelim matches against Damage and Moscow Red Legion. Yep. You guys are looking good. You've got your 2 wins under your belt. Need 1 more to feel more confident about Sunday, but how are you feeling about your performances?
We're feeling good. You know, I think the game yesterday was closer than we would have liked against a team like NYX. I mean, great team, right? But on paper, I think we should beat them by more than a point. We gave them 2 points to start it out, but you know, they had played a game. We were coming in cold, and it's kind of a funky layout, right? So you sort of have to figure out how it's going to play come game day. Obviously, the game against Elevation here a little bit better, you know, beating them 6-0. But you know, I think the games against Damage and the Russians will definitely kind of test how we're playing the field. I think they'll probably give 2 different looks. I assume Damage will play, the Damage paintball, slow it down a bit. And the Russians will just kind of, who knows, right, after a game like this. So we'll see, but definitely feeling good.
Yeah, Muscat Red Legion, I've heard, is always a hard team to scout because they're so unpredictable. But is the field layout playing a little differently than you guys thought coming into the weekend?
It's one of those layouts that I think it can play really quick depending upon where people go off the break, who gets shot, who lives. And we're seeing teams really slow it down. So it can play a couple of different ways, which I kind of like. It's one of those layouts where there are so many different options off the break, which I think just makes it unique, makes it exciting, and makes it a fun layout. So it'll be good to see how it plays on Sunday.
Yep. We'll get back to you guys for possibly our last point here.
2:35 on the clock. Legion down by 5.
Man, what crazy games we've been seeing out here.
Yeah, we have. Well, hopefully we'll get some more of it here. We still have tomorrow's prelim competition and a couple more sets this afternoon.
I think Harris looked like he might have caught a ball in that back center, but still hanging in there.
Scotty Graham got shot on the break. Pat Kraft gets picked off. Lackey picked off. Harris Hussein's got his back pointing in the wrong direction. And here comes Smotrov through the middle. Oh, and Smotrov got shot as he hit the buzzer.
Did he? Oh, no. And the ref's running over saying he didn't.
Smotrov got shot and hit the buzzer.
Who shot him?
His own guy.
Oh, man. This would be a mercy rule. Oh, man. And Harris is saying he didn't get it. Yeah, Todd, I didn't see it. I was watching their body walk off. I'm actually blocked out from the stand-up here. I can't see it anyway.
Oh, yeah. They got a
major penalty.
Major penalty on the Russians, and that's going to do it.
Yeah, as he was diving for it, somebody in his own team shot him in the back. I think he's trying to say that he didn't actually hit the buzzer, but the clock stops.
So, yeah, here's the replay. So there goes Harris. Look for Smotrov to come through. It looks like he might have got shot by his own guys, what they're saying. So there comes Smotrov.
Oh, he did. He got shot right in the back. Right as he was at the back center.
As you
see
it?
Right
there.
On his left shoulder.
He has left like a trap almost.
Yeah.
It's like on his left lat.
He was still, he wasn't really even anywhere near the box and came right in there. Wow.
Well, just, sometimes you get unlucky out here, and the Russians had a lot of bad luck, and New York Extreme played really well. So it's not a good combination if you're trying to win games.
Nothing to take away from the Russians, I think that if any team's going to come back that many points in that little time, they have the capability of doing it. But it didn't come down to just that last bit there of them trying to hit the.
So Jason Strozen, our commissioner, doing a review right now. Let's check in again with Lauren.
Yeah, Jason is reviewing right now to see if the Russians would have had any live bodies still on the field, which would enable them to possibly get that point.
It doesn't matter though, right? It doesn't matter anymore.
I think it's a dirty hang.
If you, it's a dirty hang's a dirty hang.
Sure.
It doesn't matter if there's bodies or not.
Yeah, if you hit it when you're hit.
Yeah.
Like if Smotrov would have got hit and ran off.
Yeah.
NYX did not have any live bodies.
Yes, there were no live bodies. So dirty hang. There's still 206 out there. I mean, we're sitting on a 5-point potential mercy rule here. Well, the referees they haven't said game over yet. The referees are, so looks like a no point, and we will have.
And it'll be a 5-on-3.
Yeah, 5-on-3, which means good luck. But, I mean, the Russians maybe could win this one for spread.
Yeah.
I mean, New York Extreme's going to win this game. The question is, at this point in time, what is the spread going to be?
And it doesn't matter how many bodies you have when you have a dirty hang, right? You start 5-on-3 no matter what.
Sure.
Well, Smotrov's over there, probably trying to plead his case. Oh, you got the information. So right now, Bo Milo, owner and coach of New York Extreme, is over talking to our commissioner, try to figure out what exactly the final decision is going to be. So it looks like Lauren's got an update for us.
Hey guys, yeah, the final call is that was actually a minor penalty. I'm getting information that a minor hang is dirty hang is a minor penalty. There were no bodies for either team, so it's going to be a no point, and they will play another point 5-on-5.
So, yeah, so that's I'm sorry, so it'll be 5-on-5, 2:06 on the clock, 5-point spread. This game's going to go to New York Extreme. It's a huge win for them. But what's the point spread going to be? Are we going to see another point out here and a mercy rule win for New York Extreme? I don't know. What are your thoughts, Todd?
I mean, 2:06 on the clock. I mean, I don't think that they have enough time to get back in it now. And NYX is doing a good job still of shooting people on the break and getting into good positions. But, and you know, bend don't break, right? When the Russians come with that initial push. But I thought a dirty hang has always been a major.
I was under that impression as well.
Yeah, me too. Did they change that this year? I feel like we tweak things sometimes, and I feel like they don't give me the memo. But
how many players did the Russians have alive at the
They
end of
said
that?
0.
It looked like they had a few. Well, NYX definitely had 0. Like, but Russians, I thought they had a few players.
They said the Russians had 0. So if there was 0 people alive, there had to have been somebody alive to shoot Smotrov, right?
No, Smotrov got shot by his own guy, right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Alive for Russians. Yeah.
I thought there was at least 2 other players alive.
Right. That's why I thought that it doesn't matter.
Dirty hang.
A dirty hang is a major. It doesn't matter how many bodies you have.
Point goes to the other team, and you're starting down 2.
Point goes to the other team under a minute. Over a minute, it's still a penalty, but I thought it was a major, not a minor.
Well,
but there's definitely still bodies alive for the Russians at the end of that game.
Well, the Russians now, they do start with 5. They do shoot Pat Kraft off the break as they send 2 bodies up the center. Interesting, aggressive game plan here for New York Extreme. He's going to come around, dice up Sergey. Ooh, Sergey, that almost could have got a penalty there. Kirill's going to punish Lackey and stay alive. Karslev gets shot off that D side, and Smotrov stays alive here on the snake side. Let's see if one of his own teammates shoots him.
So
nope, looks like this time just gets in there.
And I think that NYX is going to start.
Did they get a major, minor?
I don't know, I saw another flag getting thrown over there as the last NYX player was getting out. And I don't know, it could potentially be a talking penalty, but.
Well, let's check in again with Lauren.
Thanks. I don't know about any penalty just yet, but I did ask Jason Trozen about the dirty hang being a minor. He said that it actually comes down to distance traveled with a hit. If there's no bunkers between the person and the buzzer, then it's a minor. If he passes bunkers running to hit the buzzer, then it's a major.
Well, there you go, Todd.
So they had enough players to pull and then start with 5.
Alrighty.
Yeah, well, and a 4-point spread now. Well, that was an incredibly fast point with a minute and 42 seconds left. Now, the Russians did score that 9-second point in Texas. Actually, it was like a 20-second point, a 9-second point. They got some help with some chaos. And anyway, it's a longer story. You can check out 5 Sundays to watch the whole thing in a few months. Well, probably about a month and a half for that episode at least. Episode 1 will be coming out in about 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're only on 4 Sundays so far.
Yeah, it's 4 Sundays. Yeah, the 5th Sunday, we're waiting a couple days. Also, lots of amazing auction items going down on the Motivated for Mav website. That's 4MAV, the number 4, and then mav.org. And you can get custom push goggles, pro player Maverick jerseys, and also the very first Field 1 Force ever to roll off the production line. It's currently sitting in front of me right now, and you can get that one too. Ryan Greenspan actually bid on his own company's gun because he was thinking maybe we could get it, but then he got outbid immediately. So
might have to go bid that up a little bit.
So about a minute to go. So the next set we got X Factor DMG. That should be a good one. Also Outlaws and ML Kings, and ML Kings are not playing bad.
Yeah.
And the Outlaws had a really good match against Houston Heat. So on paper, people might think
that's 2 people we play tomorrow too. So
yeah, well,
I'll be watching that game.
Better be taking some notes. And then X Factor DMG. Now DMG looked really good against Boom. They didn't let Boom put a point up on the board, and then they fought a real hard match against Infamous and won that one by 1. So DMG's coming into this match undefeated so far here, and
with how everything's going.
Yeah, and they did well at World Cup last year. They made their first pro first pro Sunday at World Cup last year. So they did well here at this event. About 24 seconds to go. There is Pat Kraft.
Talking to Scotty Graham and Robbie Altimore.
I think ultimately what it's going to come down to is NYX surviving the breakout. If they can survive the breakout, they can whittle a good chunk of time off. But if they have little bit of an earthquake happen, then it's going to be tough.
Yeah, they need a long point right here. Just
And
to
it
be
looks like they
safe.
made it out. All 5 bodies alive for NYX.
Here come the Russians catapulting down the field. And there
NYX
goes a
is
body
one.
coming off for New York Extreme. We'll see if the Russians can do it yet again with a historic comeback. Probably not, but you never know after what's happened in the past. There goes Kraft. He comes off. Vernikov is in position here past the 50 in the snake. They're going to shoot Smotrov, and they're going to have them bodies come off
Oh,
for Cars
he
left.
gets shot again.
By his own guy.
Vernikov now able to put that 3rd point on the board. So now it's a 3-point spread with 1:10. Oh, some Russian fans now. So we'll see if they can continue this one. New York Extreme, they just need to find a way to just get out here.
Yeah.
So interesting, they fought.
Well, they did. I mean, they did make it to all their spots alive. Russian just made some really great shots and then blew through the zones.
Why do you think this happens sometimes?
I just think that, like, at this point, the team that's down has nothing to lose. And when you have really good, talented players, like, they're coming through and they're hyper-focused on their shots. And these guys are just, I want to burn the time. That's why I think that you're seeing, like, a little shift of when teams are in this situation, they're punching back. And actually, there was that pivotal point earlier in this game when it was, if Russians would have won that point, they would have been back in the game. And that's when NYX punched them. And they were able to halt the Russians.
And also defense not normally working on this field.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you allow
but
the other
team. But it is in a little way, too.
In a way, but only,
yeah.
but it's not consistent.
Yeah. Sure.
But yeah, but if you, again, we're going to keep saying it because it's the truth. If you're going to play defense, you got to make your shots. They didn't shoot any of the Russians, essentially, making all to every single 50.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it's like bodies are flying all over the place and angles are coming at you, and then you can't stay alive, and those cans are rough.
Yeah.
The team gets, if your opponents get up the field and out wide, good luck trying to stay alive in those spots. So 35 seconds before the start of this next one. Also, you know, it can get a little tiring running wind sprint after wind sprint after wind sprint in those comebacks too.
Yeah. But it is, to go off, you know, question you just proposed, like, why don't you just always play like that, you know? But it's like,
well, people ask me that sometimes. So people that are unfamiliar with paintball, we talk about it and they'll be like, well, why don't you just run those plays all the time? They always seem to work. I'm like, well, not always.
Yeah.
So can the Russians do it again? They're down by 3. It's only 1:10. I mean, they've just put up a couple real quick points here. Still don't think they can do it, but oh, look at this. Harris loses his loader. Oh, Harris does not know where his loader is. Harris's loader fell off, and it's underneath him. It's on the ground in front of him, underneath the bunker, so this is some bad luck for Harris. Harris is trying to breach load paintballs, and then here comes Karslev shooting one-handed on the run. Karslev is just one-handing people right now. Oh my God. Karslev came through and one-handed both of those guys.
He did.
I hope we got a replay of that. Pavel Karslev, Pasha, getting it done over there, and another quick point. So now it's a 2-point spread if he's clean with 50 seconds to go. And like we always say, you can't count the Russians out.
Even though Harris's gun was down, though, I don't think that's really where the ball was dropped there.
So let's get a look at this replay. I hope it's Karslev running down the D side, just one-handing people at will. So here he goes, using 2 hands. Then he shoots that guy one-handed. And then he shoots that guy one-handed. Stops to check himself, and then hits the buzzer. Let's get another angle on it. So he gets that kill on Harris. Little 3-pack here for Karslev. And then comes through, and that's 2 one-handed kills there. Little check, and then stomps on that buzzer. Just nastiness from Pavel Karslev.
And that might have just been a little bit of a hiccup with game planning, that, you know, they weren't able to communicate that all 3 guys were looking snake side for NYX. You know, and that's why it's important to know the ball count, because those other 2 guys, I'm sure, were supposed to be watching that Dorito side zone. The other 3 guys might have not known that they got pulled off, and then they're coming flying down the Dorito side.
You know, you say, how come people always wait till they're down, you know, to try and just make plays like this, to make runs like this. But, you know, we talked about yesterday, Maddie, how they're on this layout. There's just not, like, a whole lot of bounce shots. It's really kind of just pretty heads-up, straight-up paintball field, you know. I think that those moves are actually just there on this field. You know, I think they have those opportunities.
Sure.
And
So it's
they're
fear.
forced into
So
it.
fear is what you're saying is stopping people from doing it. Fear of getting shot. Fear of I don't know if I can make this move because it's a a high risk move. But yeah, maybe that's it. Again, a big shout out to our sponsor, Dye Paintball, Dye Precision. Go to dyepaintball.com/M3+.
Get the Ironman edition one. There's only a couple left. Yeah. Russian Legion, you can see them shooting their signature series gun.
51 seconds on the clock. They need 2 to tie. This would be a historic comeback if the Russians could do it again.
Oh, but NYX losing 2 players off the break, it looks like.
Russians lose 2 as well.
And NYX getting a penalty.
Major or minor? Minor penalty. So here comes Kirill Peridny and Leo Smotrov to try to put another quick point on the board. They got a bit of a gift as the crowd goes wild for the Russians. And that's going to be a 1-point game here. Oh my God!
This might be the craziest game of the tournament so far.
4 unanswered points in about maybe 2.5 minutes. Insane. So what looked like a runaway blowout victory here for New York Extreme. The Russians refusing to go quietly, and they just start streaking down the field, putting up point after point after point. 4 unanswered points for them to take it to a 1-point spread with 31 seconds left. Can they summon the spirit yet again for another historic comeback? Wow, the Russian Legion is just an impressive machine when things are working well. So let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. As you can imagine, it is utter chaos in the New York Extreme pit. They are screaming at each other, asking why none of them can stay alive. They're trying to hide in their bunkers and just get this time off of the clock, but that's not working for them. I don't know what they need to do to stop the Russians, but 30 seconds on the clock, there's a good chance the Russians can tie this up.
With what we've seen so far, absolutely. But, I mean, maybe that's it. They're hiding. You know, why can't you just stay alive? Well, with 31 seconds, now they might want to fight fire with fire.
Yeah.
Send some bodies up, to at least make those Russians attacking pump their brakes and have to deal with the threats in front of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, we talked about how it was possible. Absolutely not probable, but that's why you just can never ever count the Russians out.
Ain't over till it's over, man. You always got to keep fighting.
So you're saying the game's not in the bag, Todd?
It's definitely not in the bag.
It's funny because like 30 seconds is a really small amount of time, but when you're thinking like the Russians and what they've done, it's a lot of time. I will say, I mean, mounting a comeback like this for the Russians, it's got to be a little bit exhausting. So as long as they can keep that momentum.
Fatigue might come in. You have to run wind sprint after wind sprint after wind sprint.
Yeah.
Here we go. Can the Russians tie this one up? Here comes the 3 bodies streaking up quickly, and looks like Karslev's going to get pulled out, and a penalty is going to be assessed. Major or minor is going to be a minor on Karslev, and that's going to pull out. Sergey gets shot. That's going to pull out Kirill Peridny. Still 2 bodies out there to give it a shot with Smotrov and Malloy. Smotrov gets goggled up, and Todd, you said it best. Bend, don't break. And that is exactly what New York Extreme needed to do. Still 3 seconds to tick off, but nobody's are left out there. So New York Extreme is going to take the victory here against in what ended up being a hard-fought battle.
That's so funny after talking to Harrison VIP yesterday. He was like, "There's no chance. I'm not even putting my gear on, so he's got to be ecstatic."
And always, and what'd you tell him? Always have faith.
Yeah,
man.
I was like, get creative, man. You got faith. You can do it. And look at that.
So New York Extreme with a big upset victory here over the Russian Legion, but what a game it was. So stick with us, though. We have more battles, 2 more battles to go. Well, actually, 4 more games. So actually, it looks like we got Lauren setting up an interview here, so just stick with us. We're going to go down to that in a second. But, yeah, just an amazing performance here from New York Extreme. Go back to what was working. They were kind of bullying the Russians around, winning gunfights, but also picking on Karslev.
Sure.
They were shooting Karslev off the break. He couldn't stay alive over there on the D side, and that really helped him kind of get into their game plan and then start getting those points on the board.
Yeah. And I think,
Yeah, so let's check in with Lauren Kelly.
Thanks. I'm here with Hennessy. Congratulations on that win, but oh my gosh, you guys had to make it quite dramatic. I heard some of the guys in there saying their heads are spinning. How were you feeling watching that all go down?
I mean, they're the best team in the world for a reason. I mean, they weren't going to let down easy. We were, towards the end, why we were losing all those points, we were just dying off the break. And they were just running all over the field. They were getting away with it. They were running through our zones. And we were just dying off the break. They were killing us. So, when we're down bodies and they're running all over the field, it's hard to pick them off. Those guys are really good. But I'm really proud of the team. We pulled together. That was definitely our best match we probably ever played. Just this season, all in pro, that was our best match by far. But extremely proud of the guys and everything that we accomplished there. And now we just got to set our sights on Tampa Bay Damage tomorrow. So.
It seems like Moscow Red Legion plays their best when they're down 17 points and have no time on the clock, and then they just come out swinging. But what do you think? You said you were getting shot off the break, and that's what was causing them to get all of those points. But why? Why do you think that was happening for you guys? Was it just that the Moscow Red Legion had changed their strategy and you guys were having a hard time combating it?
Yeah, I mean, they had to do that. They had to run over the field because they were down so many points. They just had to. They had to aggress. They had to fly up the field. They were going around the corners, straight up to the 50s. I mean, they had to do that. We kind of changed some things up the way that we were lining up. We got to go back and watch the tape and line up better because I got one of my guys shot. He stepped on me as I was diving out. So there's some little things that we got to clean up. If we clean those things up, I don't think it ever comes back to this. But we're just going to go back, look at the tape, and fix it. So.
Well, you guys won against Moscow Red Legion, and man, people are going to be watching that game for a very long time.
Just trying to bring entertainment to the fans, so.
I always love watching a New York Extreme game, so thank you so much. Stay tuned, more coming up after the break.
Thanks, son. Appreciate it.